immediately.
Why you weren't proud of my nigga Young Chap, man? He tried to call you a bitch, man.
Oh, then, honestly, the reason why I didn't reply to Young Chap, I put it in my YouTube video. They said why I didn't join his live. Young Chap is on live the whole fucking day. I'm sorry, when I go live on my main page, it ranges between like 8 to 10,000 people, and Young Chap is halfway clout chasing. I'm not gonna give him my audience. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I really just like he's like I'm not giving you my audience for you to talk a bunch of fuck shit like yo I'm gonna slap 21 set like bro you've been in the house like you're on the house arrest. You know, again I do fuck with Chop though, and would I talk to him on like a interview for like a video? Yeah, but like
You gotta get that nigga on Twitch, bro.
Yo, I'll do it on Twitch. Absolutely, I'll do it.
Get tomorrow.
Just that I wasn't gonna go live with him on my main page. I'm sorry. Like I rarely go live on my main page. I try not to. But I could tell Chop was on some cloud chasing shit. By the way, you have to realize Chop is promoting an album. By the way, he got a song that sound good. Which I don't know. Every time niggas get into this crazy shit, I remember when Soulja Boy got into this crazy shit, he had that Hit My Line song that sounded good.
That shit was trash, bro.
I liked it, bro. So
what song Chop got, bro? What's that shit called?
He been playing it. It was like, Lord forgive me. It was like, Lord forgive my enemies or something like that. I like the song. But he's going about it the wrong way. Like, you know, kind of.
He's rapping on it.
No, he is. I really think it's not bad. I don't know if it's on, let me look to see if it's on.
You'll play that shit right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna play. Like, yo, I'm pretty honest about shit like that, but I just feel like he's going about it the wrong way. Let me see.
Bro, somebody gonna beat his ass. He beefing with J Prince Jr. Trap.
It's on. You see, he's cloud chasing so much. He put it on iTunes with a picture of 21 Savage, and he called the song "When Young Chop Come in the Studio." But I think it's a decent song.
What's it called?
When Young Chop Come out, the bitches off the OnlyFans. Like, come on, man, legend, bro.
Niggas said
that shit for me. I sing it. The fuck, okay? No, I just think it's a decent song. I think he's going about everything the wrong way, but you know, honestly, if you ask me what's really going on, I don't think it's mental issues at all. I think it's kind of the space where Soulja Boy was in, where like, yo, when niggas is losing relevance, at times they feel like niggas is blackballing them. You feel me? Like,
that nigga beefing with real gangsters.
Nah, I agree, but
J Prince Jr., Trap MBB,
that's a
21 Savage.
That's
all the people with Meek be around in New York.
That's the dangerous part. Like, shit. Hey, we will see what happens. But anyway, that's that. And anyway, I was kind of on that spiel to say like, nigga, I pretty much respond to everybody. Nigga, when Meek said something about me in an interview, nigga, I came on here, I went crazy. You feel me? Like, again, I try to. Again, it's not responding, and sometimes I be hearing people be like, yo, oh, act feels tough. Like, first of all, is Metro Boomin a tough nigga or something like that? Like why I be acting like everybody's tough and up? Like, come on, man. Like, we're all men, right? And, like, of course, you know, like, I don't ever threaten violence, but, like, you got to expect I'm going to respond if somebody says something about me. Just like if I say something about Young Chop. Like, that's why I included the shit of Young Chop calling me pussy or the feds in my video, because, nigga, I'm talking about Chop and cracking jokes on him. He could talk back at me. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta expect people to respond. So, like, if I respond to, like, Metro Boomin or Nav, it's not that I feel tough. It's like, my nigga, you gotta defend yourself as a brand, because, like, niggas love to pick on people. So, other than that, everything cool. I met YoungBoy recently. We did some stuff. I'm kind of waiting for some things. We had a great conversation. I'll quickly tell you what happened. So, he was in Chicago. He had hit me up. He said, Ak, I want to, you know, he says, Ak, I fuck with you and I respect a lot of the support you've given me. He says, we should sit down and we should have a conversation. And he was down for it to be filmed. It was supposed to be a few weeks from now, low key. But last week, or was it Friday? I can't remember the day. He hits me. He says, "Yo, Ak, are you in the area? And would you be able to come to Philly?" So what happened is he had a private jet, which he made sure to tell me his label wasn't paying for it. He rerouted the jet from Chicago to come to Philly. And I thought he was, because I asked him, I was like, "Are you here to like fucking, I don't know, work with some artists or Uzi or somebody?" He was like, "No, nigga, I flew here just to see you." You know, which I felt flattered because he said the fucking flight cost $40,000. I was like, shit. All right, I got to make this talk pretty worthy. But anyway, like, you know, we kicked it. We talked about every single thing. He was super open and honest. And, like, I don't want to give away too much, but I can't wait for y'all to see some of those stuff. You know, he played me some stuff, and you know, again, I'm trying to respect his privacy on certain things as well. But very interesting person. You know, like the interesting people that I have either met or talked to, and it goes. X was definitely one of them. Who else? Damn, I'm not met that many people. but like, I guess it's the tone of like the conversation. Like he was super interested in like in how he thought about a lot of things. You know, like his thought process was very, very interesting. But I respected a lot of things he said to me. With even him just being super honest at times, where he says, "Yo, Ak, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm 20. I didn't grow up to that point to care about that yet." And whether it was like, you know, certain responsibilities or as a role model, or certain responsibilities of, you know, like choosing his actions based on like, you know, people who depend on him, like kids and stuff like that. So, you know, hopefully, I do feel like that was a one in that conversation I had with X before he died. I still watched that back, and I never knew it at the time. I watched that back, and I still feel like there are pieces to the puzzle to figure out who he is, how he thought, how he would react in situations. There was a bunch of times I talked to X that, like, you know, and hopefully I'm not being offensive. I'm gonna try to choose my words very carefully, but when I heard the whole thing about the robbery, and allegedly the story goes they ask him to give up the bag and he refuses. Just talking to him and kind of knowing him and his personality, it didn't matter if he had $50,000 or $5 on him. He wasn't giving shit up. You know, like he wasn't that person. He wasn't that person. Like he was one of those people who is about principle and just about respect, and not and wasn't, you know, he's not thinking about, okay, let me just get us up and whatever. So, you know, those conversations were really telling to me about him, you know. And I know he was he got gunned down and it was going too soon, but I still look back at that conversation, and you get to kind of put some of the pieces of the puzzle together in terms of his life. This conversation I had with YoungBoy, I understood him a lot more. And I was still confused by a lot of things as well. But like, it's a really interesting conversation. You know, I've watched, you know, he hasn't done any type of conversation on camera since like 2018. And if that's before he got house arrest and everything like that. And I wanted to make sure, especially if he was flying in private to fucking come talk to me, which originally we were supposed to like do it on a jet, but like we just ended up just riding around Philly. I wanted to make sure the conversation we had wasn't like the regular conversation we normally see if, like, say he went up to, you know, any radio station or any like blog. I want it to be some shit that you could look into, kind of like what I did with X, honestly, where it would be deep. So expect that. So if you're expecting, like, there's bullshit in it too. There's a lot of bullshit in it, but there's a lot of deep shit where I'm trying to figure him out. I think he's a pretty interesting character. Anyway, that is to come. Have a little patience with me. I'll give you more updates when I can. And I really want to thank him and his team for extending the opportunity to me. All right, so let me stop being all like political and shit like that. But yeah, that's going on. What else did I fucking miss? I feel like I missed some shit that I didn't respond to or whatever. Oh, by the way, I was actually surprised, like, a lot of people's reaction to like my comments. Which remember I had spoken on like the Joe thing, and I really didn't want to speak on it. And but you know, it was kind of bothering me a little bit. And you know, I shared so much time with these people. Like, I don't know. You see, maybe I'm still stuck on some really bullshit, but I'm just not a fake dude, bro. Like, if every morning I get up and I go, I give part of my life to building something with you, like, I just can't see myself talking shit about you, like, right after, bro. So, like, usually I'd rather say nothing. But, you know, it's sad when, you know, you gotta sometimes, like, say something to either defend yourself or respond. And I hope that's not people. Again, my tone when I'm on Twitch sometimes, you know, might be on the Patron or the Henny, might be a little bit different. But people actually people actually understood what I was saying, and I really respect that, and I'm gonna leave that there. And I think he had responded, but it's not something we're going back and forth. I do want to say also salute to my man Charlemagne. In maybe it was in the conversations or I want to call it a rant, the me speaking on it here, but like we have talked since, and to his credit, I don't know if he really realized, but he did. He was like, "Yo, Act, I don't know if I really ever did tell you, but I am proud of you of a lot of things, and like I see how you've like really maneuvered and built a platform and really kind of done a lot of things that's super futuristic for people like you, and you furthered this game a little bit, and I really respected that. So I don't require much of people, but like from the little acquaintances I have in media, I respect that. So thank you, Charlemagne. Again, Joe, I wish him the best of luck. Again, this is not one of those things like we're not beefing. You feel me? And I think he's tremendously talented. I do think at some point we could work on anything, but I just have to set the record straight with that. Did I not speak on anything else? What else? Oh, DRAKE Toosie Slide. Oh yeah, I think that's gonna be a hit, bro. And I don't really even want to get into here. Well, not here, but like now, because this is gonna be a 2-hour conversation, and I know AJ's probably like in the background and he gonna say some shit, and I'm at the point to say, bro, Drake is knocking on the door of being the best ever. I'm sorry, I think he's there. I think he's there. I think he's there. I think he's at the point where he's knocking on the door of being the best ever, and perhaps like I'm just one of those people that didn't really live through the whole Mike playing, right? So like when you see like Kobe in his prime, you're like, Kobe's the best. Or you see LeBron in his prime, you're like, LeBron's the best. But everybody who watched Mike play, like, are you crazy? Like, this nigga could even fucking be the water boy for Mike. And I know some people think that in terms of like Jay. They're like, yo, what are you talking about? How the fuck could Drake be the best? Look what Jay did this and third. I just feel like, man, and there's a lot of things that goes into it. It's not just a level of, it's not just a matter of just skill where like, he's like the best, like, bar for bar type person. I just feel like just kind of overall the success, the consistency, still the dedication to, pleasing so many different facets. I believe he's the best overall, man. I believe he's the best overall, Now, do I think he's the greatest hip hop artist? No, I still think Pac, Kanye rank above him. You feel me? I feel like what they mean to hip hop is much more than music. You get me? And Drake hasn't gotten there yet. But if we're just talking straight music, consistency, checking off all the boxes for what we respect or what we like, and even what hip hop has evolved to, like, shit. You know what I mean? Like, salute to, Talib Kweli, but Talib Kweli checks off one box but might be missing in a couple just because, and there's no slight, where hip hop is evolved. Like, these days, being a top hip hop star, you gotta, like, fulfill mad boxes, And I just think Drake at that point is knocking on that door or is up there on that Mount Rushmore. And I think it's hard for us to really say that or say it without people getting backlash because he's still doing it. Just like, and I'm not comparing Drake to Nicki, but the reason why I think Nicki keeps getting mad, Nicki wants her flowers now before she retires. She'll never get it. Like, she gonna go down as the best female rapper. But while she's still in the game, still trying to shoot threes, it ain't gonna happen, baby. You gotta retire. You gotta bow out. You feel me? Like, hip hop is one of those sports where, like, it's what have you done for me lately? And if lately you ain't dropping 40 like you used to, they gonna call you fell off. They're not gonna think about when you used to drop 40 and now you only dropping 25. So it's one of those things. I just think that, man, Drake been consistently dropping 35 for like 10 years. I just feel like that's unprecedented. Now, again, that's what I'm saying. I'm throwing it. It's a hot take a bit. And of course, I want to debate it. I want to discuss it because, me coming up with that hot take, quote unquote, is also like evaluating like the people in this class. I just don't even think you can compare him to Kendrick and Cole anymore. And it's not off skill. Like, this is the first thing I always get out the window. It's not off skill. I do think those guys are very talented. If somebody told me or if someone's opinion was that Kendrick was more talented than Drake, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at that opinion. What I'm saying is that what I say kind of overall is that, bro, like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to give it up for the guy who's here. He's playing the Olympics. He's at Rucker Park dropping 70. He plays preseason. He doesn't take it. Yo, like J. Cole and Kendrick, they take 2 years off and drop 1 year. Like, bro, they do a load management. Like they're the load management version of like rappers. You get me? Like, I want to see the people who I consider the best. Not saying you got to oversaturate the market, but be present a little bit more, man. I feel like them niggas is like, bro, they get 3 years to work on an album. Drake got to put out some hot shit every 9 months like a baby. You feel me? Like, again, like, we can't really compare them like that. I don't think so. Like, how could we? We're talking about people who play every 5 games, and the other nigga, he playing double headers and back to back. Bro, like, what are we talking about? Again, we live in a different time. We don't live, like, music is really easily made. Not saying the art is easy to, like, master and easy to make, but, like, the old way of thinking where, you know, people used to go on tour and, like, if you're going to tour for a year, you can't record on tour. So, you know, like, you couldn't just record off your laptop, like, fucking in a little closet, whatever. You'd have to go to a whole studio. This is, like, in the 90s and shit like that. It was really hard to really get dope recordings, like, while you're moving around. These days, niggas is Airbnbs is recording all this type of songs. I just don't feel like there's an excuse for why Kendrick and Cole are so non-present within the culture a lot. And for that, I just can't compare them to Drake. I'm sorry. And y'all might just be like, yo, act, you dick sucking, pause. Or like, yo, you just like a Drake fan. But, man, I want to see the dudes that are at the top of the culture to be a little bit more present. And shit, if they were, I would think that the competition would be a little bit closer. But I just don't think that Drake's competing with anybody of this era anymore. I think he's competing with people of other eras. He's competing with the Waynes. He's competing with, of course, you know, Kanye's still, I guess, kind of in this era, but the Waynes, the Kanyes, the Jay-Z's, you know, like a lot of those people. And when it's said and done, even if it was said and done now, I think he's up on that Mount Rushmore. But that's if you ask me. I could be wrong, you know? And all due respect to everybody else that's in it, you know, in that conversation, whether it's, you know, Kanye, whether it's Wayne, you know, it was interesting when we had a little baby on Everyday Struggle, and he was basically saying, yo, the new generation of niggas, yo, like, Wayne not even a GOAT no more. They look at Wayne as like an old head, you know, which is crazy. I think Wayne is like 32 or something like that, like, or maybe like 1 or 2 years older than like Drake. But like the new like quote unquote generation, like their GOATs are like probably like Thug or Uzi. You get me? So it's a little bit interesting, but you know, for me, Wayne would always be in the conversation of being one of the GOATs, you know. And I always look at Wayne as like the Kobe, but I look at like LeBron as like Drake, you know. I don't know. It's a hot take of mine. I've been thinking about it more and more, even though, you know, the Michael Jordan title kind of goes towards Jay-Z, and people always throw that in the mix. Like, yo, what about Jay? Like, how the fuck could you ever compare Drake to Jay? And I really look at it, you know, while the feeling of a Volume 2 or a Reasonable Doubt or a Blueprint could possibly, well, not possibly, probably could not ever be recaptured when you listen to Drake's project, whether it's a Scorpion, whether it's a Take Care, whether it's a Nothing Was the Same, whether it was If You're Reading It's Too Late. While you can't probably think about it like that, we have to realize we're in a different era. And again, Will Chamberlain's one of the GOATs, but like he was one of the only motherfuckers dunking at the time, right? Like, and we respect him for all of that. You feel me? You look at Bill Russell. Bill Russell was playing against construction workers, but like shit, he was dominant within his time. So we gotta adjust music and how we think about it within the time period we evaluate it in. And these days, to keep it real, if you don't sing a little bit, you probably won't be in that conversation in the top 3. If you aren't a little bit more multifaceted than you were allowed to be in, or you could have been in the 90s or early 2000s, you probably won't be in that conversation. So, you know, again, that's loosely my hot take. Anyway, I don't want to bore you out with that.
Yo, you bugging out. Colombia's putting the Henny in the pussy right now.
What? oh, man,
God.
for real?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, shit.